Protector Advocate Kholeka Gcaleka has dismissed a complaint by Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen, which alleged inflated catering costs in the Inkwazi presidential aircraft. The complaint claimed that catering for a 2022 flight from London to South Africa cost taxpayers around just a little bit over 500,000 for fewer than 18 passengers, and the cancelled flight to Türkiye in 2023 still resulted in catering costs in the region of 91,000 rands. There were also allegations that luxury items such as expensive liquor, chocolates and biltong were purchased for VIPs. However, the Public Protector's Office has since dismissed all that, saying there is no evidence that shows that the London flight's catering costs amounted to that. But the evidence on hand shows that it's far less, 139,000 than what is alleged. Well, the advocate is joining us now via the line. Advocate, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. I know your report for this quarter covers a whole lot of other issues, but I suppose for many people, the question around what are your findings on the president become a priority, although we will touch on the others. First and foremost, I mean, as we come in, how do you deal with that recurring theme in South African politics that you shield the president? How do you navigate that perceived bias?
Good afternoon, Tara, and good afternoon to the Newzroom Afrika viewers and compliments of the new season. I mean, what is critical from our investigations is that these investigations are independently done by staff, investigators with a thorough quality assurance process, and it adheres to the constitutional imperatives of investigating without fear, favor, or prejudice, no matter who is involved. And I just want to highlight that in this instance, the allegations were against the departments, which is the presidency as well as the Department of Defense, because it is the officials who engage in the procurement processes. The president is not part of the procurement processes. But also the public protector finalizes a lot of matters through closing the matters where the allegations are unsubstantiated. For instance, in this quarter, the Umgeni municipality, where there was allegations against the mayor of having been favorable to his partner in providing donations, but also the allegations against the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. Those too were found to be unsubstantiated. So really, the basis is on what happened, what should have happened. Is there discrepancy between what happened and what should have happened based on evidence and based on the law?
Let's stay on those two flights then. Is the leader of the Democratic Alliance, also Minister for Agriculture, a victim of disinformation here? Because it seems he would have relied on some reports that would have given him the confidence to raise the complaint.
Look, we wouldn't say that. I mean, complainants lay complaints all the time. It doesn't matter where they get information from. And that's the reason why the public protector actually exists, is to verify whether those allegations are in fact true or not.
And so how did they come to the figure of 569,000?
I have no idea how they came to that figure. It's information he had at his availability, and through evidence, having received documentations from the Department of Defense, the procurement process, which was documented, we found that was not substantiated.
Yeah. So in other words, did you compare evidence with evidence? I mean, did the complaint itself come with a particular string of evidence, maybe receipts, invoices, that when you calculate, they sum up to over 500,000, and you, of course, then obtain different invoices and receipts from the departments themselves?
The complainant didn't come with any invoices, so the complaint was on the basis of information, which it is our duty to then investigate. It is for us to then establish whether there is evidence which substantiates that. And upon receiving that evidence, we found that it did not substantiate the complaint.
Yeah, your finding says the amount totaled 139,319.73, significantly less than alleged. Is that amount in keeping, I suppose, with catering requirements of Inkwazi and the presidency's travel?
Well, it's in line with the policies which are in existence, both from the presidency and that of the defense.
And so that amount for you doesn't raise any concern, but secondly, the procurement process that was followed does not raise any concern.
The procurement process doesn't raise any concern. The procurement process was in line with the policy. The public protector's mandate, Thabo, I want to remind you, and what we investigated in this instance is on maladministration or improper conduct. That on whether there was any wasteful expenditure or irregular expenditure, that is not the mandate of the public protector. It is the mandate of the Auditor General. So when we conduct our investigations and case law, which is precedence for us, has made findings that we have to stick to our mandate as the public protector, and that is which we had done in this matter. We investigated whether there's any maladministration or improper conduct by the officials concerned.
Okay, let's stay with it a little bit longer. I'll let it go in just a moment. But are you saying to us that when you do your investigation, you don't then investigate whether or not the presidency would have gotten better value for money, for example, if they went for their catering elsewhere?
What we investigate is the procurement process. Did the procurement process consider the requirements in terms of the supply management policies and what is required by the supply chain management, which part of it is that they have to go with the cheaper pricing.
Yeah. Let's move then to the question of the Mgeni mayor. I mean, I know the story because I would have spoken to the mayor myself when the story broke a couple of years, it was a year or so ago, if I remember correctly. But one of the issue that people would have raised was this perceived bias. I mean, how do you investigate that in this particular instance where the tourism company would have been receiving money from the council prior to the mayor being the mayor? People have an expectation that now that the mayor is the mayor, that particular contract should be re-looked at on grounds of bias. Again,
we have to look at the impropriety. Was there a conflict of interest? The fact that the organization had been receiving funds from the municipality prior to the mayor having been at the municipality is only one of the considerations, which is assisted by the following considerations. Was the mayor part of the process that awarded the donation? No. Did the mayor declare? Did the organization declare a relationship? Yes. So those mitigating factors were there. Is there actual evidence of influence? No. The mayor was not even part of the meetings that were held to decide on the awarding of this donation. But what strengthens this is that this is not an isolated incident of this organization receiving a donation from the Umgeni municipality. They have received before, and the mayor was not at the municipality at the time.
Right. And do you then investigate how, I suppose, that affects governance within the municipality now that the mayor is there, and what measures should they put in place to hedge against that perceived conflict of interest?
Well, the governance procedures or processes were actually in place. The mayor declared, he recused himself from the meetings, the organization itself declared. So, and the process was in line with fairness. There is no evidence which suggests that this organization was preferred or treated preferentially as opposed to any other organization which had previously received a donation or that was supposed to receive a donation.
Now let's move to the other one. I mean, what triggered your investigation into the appointment of Ubuntu Municipality? At Ubuntu Municipality, I beg your pardon.
It's a complaint that was laid with the public protector. That is what triggered the investigation. We then went further to verify the allegations. The complaint basically was in regards of the appointment of the person who was over the age, and that it was not in line with the prescripts and that not proper recruitment processes were followed in that regard. And upon establishing the evidence and comparing that with what are the requirements in terms of the law, we then found that the allegation was substantiated.
So did the age play a major role in your decision?
Yes, it did, because the applicable prescripts actually do put an age limit, which is the retirement age is 65. And in this instance, the person was employed, was above the age of 65, and therefore there was a certain process that was supposed to have been embarked on for that particular appointment, which was not followed.
All right. Advocate, before I let you go, I mean, there's something that has come to our attention and has come to our desk. Is apparently there's a complaint against Dr. Dion George. Can you confirm a receipt of a complaint against Dr. Dion George? And what is the complaint about?
Yes, I confirm receipt of the complaint, which we received on the 26th of December. And the complaint basically is about abuse of funds in the department at the time when he was the minister. And
does that fall within your mandate to investigate?
The matter is under assessment. In line with our standard of operating procedures, there is a process which involves the assessment process. So as soon as that is finalized, the team would then advise what they would have found, whether the established allegations are in line with our mandate, considering that he is no longer a minister now. So there is a verification process that's taking place.
Advocate, I appreciate your generosity with your time this afternoon. And as always, thank you for coming on. That's the Public Protector Advocate Kholeka Gcaleka there on the latest report on her findings.